Welcome to the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. We're here every Sunday night at 8 o'clock, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, just to enlighten you. Tonight I wanted to talk to you about Charlie Gard. You've heard about him. He's in the news. I wrote a blog this week on my website, livinggodly.net. No, I take that back. This was from the viewfromzoar.com. I want you to go to that website, theviewfromzoar.com. Zoar was where Lot and his daughters were taken when they left Sodom and Gomorrah, and from there they were able to look back and watch the destruction of the cities on the planet. There were 5 cities, by the way. It wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah. There were 3 others. I think we are in that position where we're able to stand back and watch our world coming unglued. And Charlie Gard is one of those illustrations. Barring intervention from senior officials in the British government, 11-month-old Charlie Gard, who suffers from a rare genetic disease, will have his life support withdrawn by officials at Great Ormond Street Hospital, where Charlie is now hospitalized, although they have not yet named the time. Charlie's fight for life has become a global issue. Figures as influential as the Pope and our own President Donald Trump have weighed in to offer medical treatment. But so far, the British National Health Service has given no indication that its bureaucrats will ever allow Charlie to live. Charlie's parents wrote in a Facebook post, "We're not allowed to choose if our son lives, and we're not allowed to choose when or where Charlie dies." Now, Charlie's parents have raised close to $1.7 million to take Charlie outside of Britain for treatment. I can't believe they would ever return. Can you? An American hospital has offered to treat Charlie, I think for free. The Papal Hospital Bambino Gesù in Rome has offered to treat Charlie. But the National Health Service, Britain's single-payer healthcare system, will not let him go elsewhere to receive care, even though it won't cost them a dime. And you just have to ask yourself why. Inquiring minds want to know. Are these just hateful people? No. If they let Charlie go, it'll undermine their authority. It'll create a pattern and ultimately erode their power. The power they have as the source of health care for all Brits. Friends, this is the future of national health care in a progressive state. Something our progressive leaders are never going to talk about. The best interest of the child? Clearly that is not the issue. The state has decided that Charlie will die. And so he should be allowed to do so with dignity, regardless of what his parents want. If this were a case of medical abuse, that sentiment would make sense. But this is something completely different. Officials do not believe there is any substantial chance that treatment will be able to save Charlie. Charlie is only one of 16 people ever diagnosed with this rare mitochondrial depletion syndrome. However, another boy diagnosed with a very similar disease in America has defied all expectations. He's now 6 years old, after being told he had only 2 months to live, diagnosed as an infant. An Italian child also has a similar story about beating a similar disease through treatment. Charlie's parents have argued all the way up to the European Court of Human Rights, but they have lost at every step of the way, proving that in Europe the state considers itself better equipped to make intensely personal decisions about the well-being of your child than do you. The article speculates that the 7 to 10,000 year old principle of parental authority is in mortal conflict with socialist sensibilities, according to which, quoting Hillary Clinton and others, it takes a village to raise a child. Perhaps the British authorities fear establishing a precedent. Do you remember when government health care actually worked? I found this article fascinating because I never thought that government health care ever worked anywhere it's ever been tried. But along comes Ted Nickel, who's the insurance commissioner for the state of Wisconsin. He ran a health care program before Obamacare that was varied, effective, and efficient. Prior to the Affordable Care Act, Wisconsin consumers could choose from over 20 individual insurance companies offering coverage in their state. This included for-profit and not-for-profit companies, HMOs, PPOs, local and national insurers. There were a variety of plan options to meet a range of coverage needs. The plans were underwritten, meaning they were fully funded. However, individuals denied coverage for a variety of reasons would receive coverage from Wisconsin's high-risk pool, known as the Health Insurance Risk Pool Plan, or HIRSP. HIRSP provided Wisconsin consumers with peace of mind by providing high-quality, comprehensive coverage to over 20,000 friends and neighbors. Now, unlike the current Affordable Care Act, where most people have to wait until there's something called open enrollment to purchase coverage, to change coverage, consumers could enroll in HIRSP at any time. There were no pre-existing condition limits for people signing up for coverage if they had prior coverage. If consumers had no prior coverage, they would receive coverage for most conditions, but had to wait 6 months before a pre-existing condition would be covered. In contrast with Obamacare, you have to wait up to 11 months for any coverage you miss if you miss open enrollment. Once enrolled in HIRSP, consumers chose from a variety of benefit plans, including both high and low deductible plans. Obamacare plans are criticized for having narrow networks. Well, there were no networks at all, no network limitations at all for HIRSP. Members were able to visit any medical provider in the state and receive coverage when traveling outside the state. Subsidies were also available to offset premiums, deductibles, and prescription drug out-of-pocket maximums for low-income members. HIRSP benefit and administrative costs were funded by member premiums and contributions from insurance and providers. No state dollars were needed to support this program. Now, the commissioner, former commissioner, says it wasn't a perfect program. No program is. But it was well run, and it met the needs of its members. It kept those needs a priority and structured themselves in such a way as to allow sufficient flexibility to address individual needs and respond to evolving market dynamics. Former members of HIRSP continued to call legislative offices in Washington requesting a reinstatement of this program. Message: it can work. The Affordable Care Act is falling apart. 1/3 of U.S. counties have only one health insurer offering coverage on the federal exchange. Last year, Tennessee indicated its market was very near collapse, and it hasn't gotten any better. Currently, no health insurers in Iowa will be participating on the exchange. Minnesota is planning on spending $800 million tax dollars just this year to shore up its individual market. Alaska is spending its entire premium tax to keep their one health insurer in the market. This kind of thing is just not sustainable. Standardized federal market rules have stifled innovation and failed to take into account the diversity of markets across the country. State flexibility is necessary to address state-specific healthcare coverage needs and market dynamics. Now you have to note that this program, the AHCA, specifically states nothing in this act shall be construed as permitting health insurance users to limit access to health coverage for individuals with pre-existing conditions. The AHCA is one of those programs working its way through Congress. And my own opinion is, if you have to say stuff like this, it probably isn't going to be true in the long haul. What do you think?